Welcome to RVing in New England, the nation's only forum that puts you on stage with some of the biggest names in the RV industry. And now your hosts, John DePietro and Bob Zagami.
Wow. Good afternoon. What did I do? Leave that up there and buried our pretty faces? That's terrible. Welcome to RVing in New England. It is Wednesday night, and it's a little cold and damp in New England, Mr. DePietro. And I'm here with you, but I still got my short sleeve shirts.
Yeah, and I have my long sleeve shirt.
And your heater.
And the heater is on. Cold and damp, that's kind of like the understatement. It's like midwinter out there. I've talked to people today that have put their heat back on in their houses. And this morning, I took a video when I left the house at 7:30, and it was 47 degrees.
Wow.
Anyway.
Look at that. Look who got the number one spot tonight.
They're in Texas.
In Texas, Athens, Texas. Don and Pat Haas. Thanks for joining, Don. He was coming back to New England for the summer, too. Are you back here yet, or are you still down in Texas?
He goes to Maine, right? Does he go to Maine? New Hampshire, Maine?
He has gone to Maine in the past. I'm not sure.
89 and sunny here in Athens, Texas.
I guess he's still in
Texas.
Texas.
It's chilly. It's chilly, Don. It's chilly. We've talked to people in Florida that maybe if Walter Swenson chips in, he'll have his temperature probably in the 93 or 94 degree area there. Bernie is here. Bernie, you're in New Hampshire, so you're probably freezing as well. And, but it's just one of those things that last Friday, it was 80 degrees here because I had to go to a graduation. I could finally wear a short sleeve shirt without a jacket. And I shouldn't have told anybody about it because it happened. Dante's up there. He's freezing. Bernie, very chilly here.
I think we're all going to go back to Florida early this year.
Have that birthday party down there.
This confirms why my wife and I purchased in Florida. So we can look at tonight. We're going to talk a little bit about the weather. We know it's here, but I understand you have a new guest to the program.
We do.
And would you like to introduce her?
Anna is the manager of Coastal Acres Campground in Provincetown. She's also a Florida resident who's up here. And even though we said we would bring her on later after we showed the video, Zagami just broke the format and brought her in now, but she's here.
I was supposed to do the Sherm's video first?
Yeah.
Oh, well,
that's all right.
We'll do a second. We can do Sherm anywhere.
Right, exactly.
It's our show.
We have Anna with us. No.
I can overrule you as to where these videos go and wind up.
Anna is a reverse snow. Anna, there's a new title for you. You are a reverse snow. No, wait, no, you wouldn't be. No, you'd be a snowbird.
Oh, she's a snowbird.
I am a snowbird.
She's a reverse one. She comes up here to work.
Yes.
And then goes back there to play. Yeah, that would be a snowbird. So tell us where you're located and a little bit about your park.
Sure. We're currently
a little bit about yourself too. I mean, he just doesn't want the park, and I have to guide him sometimes along the way, but you may tell about yourself in the background. It's okay.
We're highly scripted, as you can tell.
So this is year 10 for me at Coastal Acres Campground. I manage this campground for the owners. They are local business people, and they said, run it like you own it. So that's what we've done for the last 10 years, myself and my husband and my team. We normally run with 10 people for our 193 site park. We are located on Cape Cod in Massachusetts. And I like to do it like this. So if this is what Cape Cod looks like, we're right there. You can't go any further or you're going to go into the ocean. We're literally at the end of the world here on Cape Cod in Provincetown. Our town is a wonderfully small town. So it's got that really cool small town charm, the small town feel, the small New England feel. We have about, I'd say, estimating 4,000 year-round residents. And then in the summertime, in July and August, this town has seen up to 100,000 people in town especially our town is a very LGBT destination town, and there's many event weeks that are in place for the community. And we host Carnival in August, and it's the biggest holiday of our whole season. And that's when this town has everybody coming to it for the parade and for all the festivities. It's a wonderfully fun town. There's something for everybody. There's people here from every walk of life, from really close by to really, really far away. And we get all of those guests from everywhere. I think it might have something to do with, we might be remote, but you can also get to us by airplane. You can get to us by boat.
The boat, right? Boston, right?
Stay in one of our campers.
Very easy, yeah.
We try to make it as easy as possible. For ingress and egress and in and out off the property. We don't have a front gate where it goes up and down, or it goes back and forth. We have a heartbeat in our gate. We love the heartbeat. And then you can also walk to town from our campground. We have a great little footpath. You can be on Commercial Street and right in the business district in 10 minutes by foot and 15 minutes by, bicycle. Bikes are a really big thing here. It's a nice, safe footpath. It's our campground. You can go into town and go and enjoy all the hustle and the bustle and the insanity of it all. And then you can come back and go, wow, glad I'm back at the campground. It's a nice break from, Costa Lake is like a little bubble. It's a very protected little bubble. It's a safe space for the LGBT community. When they don't feel safe, they can come to Costa Lakers, and we take care of our people here.
Now, how you get 100,000 people for the carnival?
It can be. We've seen before the pandemic hit, I'd say 2019, they were seeing really, really, really high numbers in our town of visitors and day trippers and vacationers. Yes.
So the traffic's backed up all the way to Eastham,
probably all the way down to the bridge. Come on, let's be real.
Yes, all of 6A, yeah. So,
all of 6A. It's a little challenging.
Anna, what's the URL so I can post it up for people?
Yeah, sure. We're www.coastalacres.com. We have a Facebook page. We're on Facebook, YouTube, Instagram, and now TikTok for your viewing pleasure.
Coastalacres.com. Now, Anna, are you up near Provincetown Inn, or are you in the middle where the dunes are?
So where the Provincetown is as far west as you can get in town. We are in the west end of town. You can walk to the Provincetown Inn. It's about 1 mile from us.
Okay.
So if you were coming here with your 40-foot rig or your 45-foot rig, I just want to put this out there to the public.
Yeah.
No matter what all these directions tell you, just stay on Route 6 all the way to the end. You will come in through the Cape Cod National Seashore. What our town officials don't want are these big rigs getting stuck down on Commercial Street, right, or trying to come up Shank Painter Road. It's a scary sight when I see people down there. I go get the mail and I see a camper and I'm like, oh my God.
You'd have a tough time getting a Class B down Commercial Street.
Let alone a 40-foot rig.
Exactly.
So if you just stay through the Cape Cod National Seashore, you'll come out by Herring Cove Beach. You follow it around. You hang a left on Bradford Street, also known as Route 6A, and we're 4 streets up on the left. So we're 4 streets up from Provincetown, if you will. You go past the jetty out there, where you can walk out on the rocks, and then you have all the moors, where all the low-lying water is. And we're just across the street from that, up the street a little bit.
So 193 sites, that's a good-sized park.
Yeah, we're a good-sized park. Just under 200 sites. We sit on 22 acres. We utilize 14. We have a lot of conservation land around us. We also abut what's known as Shank Painter Pond, which is one of the last remaining quaking bogs in the world.
Okay, what is it?
What kind of bog?
It's a quaking bog. Quaking, like the Pilgrims, they were Quakers, but this is a quaking bog. This is a body of water that's conservation, so we just get to look at it. But there's a really cool 3.5-minute video on YouTube as to exactly what a quaking bog is. In short, it's a body of water it's probably 2 feet deep, 2.5 feet deep, surrounded by some really cool plants. And on the bottom of the pond, it's got like a healing material. So, it's actually, an old kettle pond from the ice ages when
people go into it, or is it restricted?
Yeah, it's fully restricted. We only get to look at it.
Yeah.
So you can't use the medicinal value of the water?
Nope, we just look at it. The water is treated by the state for mosquitoes in the summer or throughout. Actually, I don't know if they treat in the winter, but they definitely treat throughout the season. But the treatment that they do is along the edges of the pond to try to control the mosquitoes. So mosquito larvae can last up to 7 years. I don't know if you guys know that. And the treatment that the state does, it lasts for 3 days or until the next rain.
Jeez.
So in addition to the Cape Cod plant known as poison ivy, we will get some bugs. I like to say you might get 1 or 2 hugs and kisses from the mosquitoes. Yeah. There are some hugs and kisses that might be waiting for you if it's a damp season. In a dry season, we don't have the bug issue. Yeah. So as you may know, Cape Cod does have mosquitoes, and it's got to be because we're on a peninsula.
So let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Have you posted a notice up on the door that Mr. DePietro will be on the property this weekend?
I haven't yet. I don't want to blow away.
They may check out before they check in.
Right. Exactly.
We
are actually scheduled and slated for a nor'easter tomorrow. Let's make it more exciting for Memorial Day weekend.
Talk about that from a campground manager's perspective. It's not like you didn't have enough stress anyway, but then that kind of a forecast. What's your day, or what do you think the next couple of days are going to be like?
Yeah, so I'm still here in the office. It's now 7:15. We closed at 4. I've worked all day to call every arrival that's scheduled for tomorrow to give them an opportunity if they would like to cancel and have that night comped. We don't cancel for weather. We don't cancel for sickness. But in the case of a nor'easter, when you're up to 50-mile-an-hour gusts and the winds are predicted to be, sturdy, 35 plus miles an hour, it's really not safe. I mean, we tow a travel trailer. It's not safe. Nobody wants to arrive, with your shoulders up to here. Your knuckles are white. You think you're going to die.
Well, that's very commendable. That's a very nice position to take.
I consulted with our owners this morning, and honestly, we are so remote. Don't die trying to get here. Honest to God, it's just not worth it. Yes, we're camping, we love it, but we love you more. We want you to arrive alive. So it will behoove us to make that effort. Yeah, at least that's what I like to think, is that we do, and the people do appreciate it. We wouldn't be here without our guests, and the guests are everything to us. I wouldn't have a job. My team wouldn't have a job. We wouldn't have a campground if you don't have guests.
But so you're so specialized. What percentage of your guests return every year?
I would have to say at least half. We have a huge following of loyal, wicked loyal guests. And in this community, there are people, this campground started in 1967. There are people that still come back from 1967 to show their grandchildren, or they still camp with us, or now it's a family reunion. We also see in our community, in our LGBT community, some of these people started coming here when they were 18 because Provincetown is a safe space for the community.
Sure, yeah.
They continue to come back. They're now in their 60s. It's amazing. I've got so many thank you cards on my desk. The people are so appreciative, and we're so appreciative of them. It's a wonderful relationship I find that we have with our guests.
And what's the makeup, seasonal versus, I hate to use the term transient.
We have 193 sites, of which today 56 are seasonal. I have a waiting list that's probably longer than my arm. There's like 260 people on the list to be a seasonal in our park. So we just had to shut it down. It's just too much to manage. Yeah.
I'm just curious, what is the rate for a seasonal down there?
Our seasonal rate this year was $10,200. We just hit the $10,000 mark, but we do offer our guests a 5% discount to pay it early. So if they do, it's $96.90.
Yeah, a lot of the campgrounds in Maine have surpassed that 10,000 figure.
Yeah, we've got a whole lot of things that play into that.
Sure.
But we don't meter electric today. So this is a full hookup site, 200 nights of camping for $96.90 if you pay it by a certain date.
$50 a night.
Yeah. So that's electric, water, and we rebuilt our whole park in 2018. So it was an all new infrastructure, $3 million in upgrades,
Wow.
electric, sewer, water, and park-wide fiber optic Wi-Fi.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did I do the math right? 200 nights for 10 grand?
That's just about right. Yeah, it's just about
Just
50 bucks a night.
50 bucks a night. Yeah. That's
Yeah.
a hell of a deal.
2 people, 1 camping unit, 1 car. We charge for an extra head of $18 a night, and then the extra car is $18 a night. You know, the option is that the guests can always park in town, you know, if they want to have their friends and family down. If they don't like our parking fees, they can always park in town. But chances are
Yeah,
town will be higher than us.
Cost them 60 bucks.
Exactly. Just the park.
In season,
Yeah.
yeah.
Yep.
Well, one thing that I noticed this past winter when we were RVing in Florida and the LGBTQ community, we saw virtually everyone, 2 women camping, but never saw 2 men camping. Does that seem to be the case in your place where you get more women than men?
We get everybody. Our town is amazing in that there's certain specific weeks for certain groups of friends. So in July, we host the Bears. The Bears are amazing. They're the most generous people with the staff in town. You know, they're good tippers. They take care of people. They're friendly. And we just say bears love to cuddle. Bears just want to cuddle. So we'll see the bear community, which is technically just a big hairy man. That's the community.
Yeah, tell me that one. I didn't know that.
Bear,
Yeah, we have bears and cubs.
bear, or is a bear a category of person that frequents Provincetown?
Yeah, that's exactly right. So the Provincetown Bears in our town are the big hairy guys, and you'll have a couple of bears. You'll have a big bear and a little bear. Bears with their cubs, you know, an older gentleman with a younger gentleman. These guys are amazing. I love our bears.
Hairy guys.
Big hairy men. So if you're a big hairy man, John, come on down. You know, I'll introduce you to the town. But all kidding aside, there's a week for our older lesbians. That's in Women's Week, which is in October. That follows our Airstream rally this year. The baby dykes come in, is what they call themselves, and that community comes in for Memorial Day weekend. So that's the younger girls that will come in. The older ladies will come in, and it's really there's in town, we have all kinds. Well, I've got a magazine here. I don't know if you can see it, but it's called the Provincetown Magazine. This will show you like all the drag queen acts, all the amazing singers. You know, Cher has come to town. Hillary Clinton comes to our town. Jill Biden has been in our town. Kamala was here.
If you can remember how to get there now.
Exactly. But you have options, you know.
Audrey,
it's a wonderful blend of everybody.
Audrey, were you at that campground last week? We have one of our members here, Audrey.
One of our regular fans. Where you been, Audrey? You haven't been to 3 or 4 or 5 weeks.
Oh, yes.
We have a thing, though, Anna. If they are late to the program, they're supposed to apologize to the other fans that are already there. So I don't know, John, does that qualify for Audrey? Maybe she's been here since the beginning, but you know, she may owe us an apology.
She was on earlier. She was on at 7:13.
Oh, she was. Okay.
Already on earlier. So, Anna, here's what we do. We periodically take a break, and not take a break, but as part of the thing we do is we recognize our guests. Like if we go back to 7:02, Don Hawes is from Texas, and he says it's 89. Can you see that on your screen?
I see it
on the right side. Bernie is up in New Hampshire. Very chilly here. Dante came from Florida.
You should give him a little bit more credit. It's Uncle Bernie.
Uncle Bernie. Okay.
Know that by now. Uncle Bernie is our first stand-in. If John and I want to take a week off, you get Uncle Bernie. And he's got his own shows, All Things RV, and he's the brand ambassador for campers in RV for the whole country. He lives up there in New Hampshire. One of the best sales reps that they've had ever up there.
Yeah, and Bernie, you're on next Wednesday night because I'm off.
Yeah, John wants a week off next week. Bernie,
I'll be in Eastham. I'll be in Eastham with some college friends. Dante lives in Florida during the winter, and is Dante in Maine now?
He is in Maine. He's back home in Maine, and he's freezing his ass off.
And we can swear here too. Turn the heat on. Estelle is in New Hampshire. Okay, so Dawn is heading back to Nashua next week for 3 weeks, heading to Maine for the first weekend for my granddaughter's grad. Wow, they're old. Okay, catching up with Uncle Bernie for dinner while I'm.
Good. I didn't know that you guys were hooking up there. I was going to recommend that you get together with Uncle Bernie for dinner. Pat is staying until September. That's his lovely wife.
Staying up here.
Up here, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
Then we got our
And
URLs.
I posted. Did I spell it right? Yeah, Coastal
You did.
Acres.
Thank
So
you.
you have that.
Bernie's looking forward to somebody's visit. We don't know who. It must be the Haws. Audrey, you were at that campground last weekend, Audrey? We were there. Okay, so see, there you go.
Was there?
Thank you.
She was there with a group.
Yeah.
How many?
Audrey, confirm that you were at Coastal Acres last week.
Yeah. How many RVs were in your group last weekend? Anna probably will remember you. You were probably the loudest group in the campground last weekend.
They have a big. They have a
Anna,
big.
you may have some violation notices for them. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Did she respond?
Michael's playing weatherman. Michael is John's brother. We don't let him sit in for us. He's a nice guy, but he doesn't qualify to have one of these seats.
Right. Considering he's quoting a meteorologist that's been dead for 30 years.
Oh yes, good.
John Quill.
Bernie says, "Wow,
that must have been the pricing, 10,000 for the summer."
He must have been talking about that, and then Audrey has that.
Last weekend.
All right, we're gonna let you go. It's nice of you to host Mr. DePietro next week. I'm glad that we got a chance to meet you. Thank you for reaching out and saying, "Hey, I live in Florida. I got a campground." We love to help campgrounds.
I appreciate that.
Tell the story of our seminars. She may have been in one of our incredible campground dealer.
One at NC. It might have been the New Hampshire campground. No, and then we did one at NCA up in Nashua, I think, and we did one in Sturbridge too.
You did Sturbridge at NCA. Were you at NCA, Anna?
This year.
It was required to be there. Yes.
Northeast Campground with Cindy Zabersky.
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. John was there.
Yeah, I was there this year, and no, we filled the room. But Anna dissed me. She probably went to the one about how to save money on your insurance or something like that.
I had a conflict somewhere. Obviously, I missed you. I'm sorry.
All right, Audrey is reclusing herself. She says just 3 coaches, and they actually behaved.
I will say.
Okay, Audrey, we'll take your word for it. We believe you.
We did support campers in when it was time, and they were very good to us. I will say that.
Great. Yeah. Thank you very much.
My pleasure, and thank you very much.
Anna, we said 5 minutes. We gave you 25.
I apprete you all.
Be good.
I'll see you on Saturday, John. Bob, nice to see you. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Anna.
I can get over the bridge. I'll go over the bridge at 35-mile-an-hour winds over the. We're going to leave Friday morning, so
don't float away.
No.
All right. See you later.
Okay. We got to get Anna to come out of her shell.
Yeah, we should.
I never met her till yesterday, and
until she sent me an email one night, and we started talking, and she knew Jane, and
now who is Jane?
Jane Doonan owned Sandy Pines, and
okay, that's right.
And they sold it to Modern America, and unbeknownst to me, she bought a house right here in Del Webb, Naples. So we're going to get together for coffee. I haven't got an acknowledgement that she's actually down here now, but I suspect that she is, and wouldn't be surprised if she's watching. If you are lurking in the background, Jane, you can put a comment in and say hello.
Yep. Now,
ask
our audience that's watching, do they have plans for the weekend?
Great.
And are your plans being altered due to the weather?
Well, that's you can do those 2 questions in one, John. If you just asked, have any of you adjusted your plans this weekend? See how much easier. See how that flows. How much easier it is. What?
No.
What?
First of all, did you have plans for the weekend? Or do you have plans for the weekend? That's one question. That's a
Right,
yes or
here's
no.
who's got plans. It
And
just
then the
may not
second
involve
question-
camping and RVing.
The second question is, are you changing your plans because of the forecast? In other words, are you going somewhere else, or you're not going, or you're not going to take the rig out of the yard, or you're not going to unplug? Audrey, where are you going? Maybe I'll see you. Well, I'm going to the Cape. So one night I'm plugging in. Here's the thing. We have a house on the Cape, which we've had for 35 years or so. But both of my daughters and their families are going down. So in order for us to stay in our own yard, we're bringing the motorhome and sleeping in our own yard on Friday night. Then on Saturday, we're going.
You get the house. Dad gets the driveway.
I get the driveway.
That's nice.
I get the driveway. And I'll probably get to stack wood or something on Sunday, whenever.
I don't know. It'll be awful wet by Sunday, pal. I don't
That's
know
right. I'm not. Oh, hey, let me ask our audience a question. Have any of you bought one of those Brio stoves, Breo, or Solo stoves to use as a campfire at the campground? We're looking into that. And I always like to check with people who might already own one. And
I'll tell you, I've never heard anything bad about Solo stoves.
Yeah.
They fly off the shelves at the parts and accessory stores and on their programs. Now you can customize them with your corporate logo for gifts and stuff. They've done really well. And actually, they got a griddle now. They just announced a griddle that either goes over the stove or it might be separate.
Well, the thing I've heard with a griddle is they're made in China and they're supposed to get beat up badly with the tariff, which will bring the pricing up. But Brio is made right in Lancaster, PA, and it's
how do you spell it, John?
Breo.
Breo.
EEO.
What do you call it? A stove or a fire pit?
Well, you can call it either one. If you just put Brio.com.
That's what it is? Okay.
Yeah.
Breo. There you go. People can check it out. So Dante says the Solo is awesome.
No, B-O. B. Not
B?
V. B, like boy.
Boy. Oh.
Not Brio.
Breo.com.
You got BR.
How's this? Does that make the cut?
Yeah, the correct URL. Yeah.
Okay, so Bernie, wow.
Bernie, you going to Florida?
You're killing us with these comments tonight. Where the hell am I? So Michael, I did that one. Michael says that's a deal. Audrey said nope. Audrey, last weekend was single lesbians party weekend. I guess you can be a single lesbian. Yeah.
Hey, let's play. Okay, go ahead. We'll go down.
Is it snowing yet?
Yeah.
I didn't know.
Side conversations. There you go. Side conversations.
A lesbian. I don't know about that one, Bernie.
Yeah, who's he talking about there?
She is retired now. So Bob is retired from the fire department. So they're on their own and floating down the highway. That's great to know. So keep us posted. Keep us posted on travels.
I think they've already been to the Keys, if I recall correctly.
Recently, it may be tomorrow. That's the storm I think he's talking about. I'll be in Jacksonville next week. We can talk. Oh, must be going down to headquarters. Well, if you want to set up a meeting, Bernie, maybe I can come up. Although I got a couple of doctor's appointments next week, but
you won't even be back by then.
Well, maybe Bernie will invite me to the corporate meetings at Campers Inn in Jacksonville.
Oh.
I haven't received that invitation yet, but maybe Bernie will execute it. Yep, love it. The hell's that mean?
Oh.
But that's the Solo stuff.
I think that was the campground, though. I think that she was referring to the campground.
Oh, she was, yeah.
Yeah.
Bernie, that's terrible, Bernie. Bernie's got to work on Saturday, mow the lawn on Sunday. Wow, he's not going anywhere. Okay. On that.
So
Brad Moore. Mr. Moore is in the house. Where'd he go?
Well, Brad's way down below. Go down to Brad. I already saw him, but let's
I have a Solo I use on my deck here on the pond. No smokes. Works as advertised. Now, did you ever see his deck overlooking the pond down there in Lakeville, Mass? Now, what else is Lakeville, Mass known for, John?
Is it a Acushnet Golf?
No, they're in that area.
Cranberries.
No, it's not cranberries. Something about baseball. I am surprised. If you don't know this, pal, I am surprised.
Lakeville?
Because you know everything.
It might be a Spalding. I think there's a Spalding golf ball place down there. Nope. A Wilson golf.
That's the same Acushnet. That's Titleist. Yeah. Lakeville. Brad, you want to tell him? I don't like to embarrass him, but if you're still on, tell him what's the number one reason people think about Lakeville, Massachusetts. I'm going to give him some chance. What's Bernie saying here? Biden
or Joe Biden
when she was talking. Oh, Biden when she was talking about him.
Yeah.
I don't know. Okay, we'll wait. While we wait for Brad to give us the answer, why don't we do the video that you claim I didn't do soon enough before? You want to intro it?
Sure. Last week,
I can do it for you if you're tired.
No. Last week or 2 weeks ago, May 9th, I was in Elkhart, Indiana, the RV manufacturing capital of the world. And I was at the RV Power Breakfast and got to meet and re-meet so many of the big, we met the president of Winnebago, the president of Forest River, the president of Thor, the president of Grand Design. And one of the people that I spoke with is the former owner of RV Business. And his name is Sherm Goldenberg. And they started this breakfast. So we did a little, when it was probably 150 people, the first one we went to, Bob.
Right.
And this one the other day was 1,300 people. So go ahead with that video.
Yeah.
Everybody, we're here with Mr. Sherm Goldenberg. And Sherm, you're really the originator of this event. And when you look back 13 or 14 years ago, depending upon whether you include COVID or not, it's grown from a little breakfast with a couple hundred people to probably one of the largest business events in the entire United States.
It is amazing how it evolved and how some events have a natural gravity, and this one seems to still have that. It's a certain magic, and we're of course really proud of it.
What do you think? What do you think is the secret sauce?
It's not self-serving. It's respectful of the community, city of Elkhart, and other things. And it also fills a vacuum at a time when a national scale event in this industry is rare.
Yep. Yeah, it used to be down in Louisville at Thanksgiving to Christmas, but that event has moved on and really nothing's replaced it. Open house somewhat, but everybody's going in a million different directions on open house.
RVDA is still a strong event, and there's others, of course.
Yeah.
But no, it fills a natural vacuum, which event planners elsewhere, everywhere, should keep on their radar.
Keep on the radar. Hey, we want to thank you so much for being here. I know you're retired but not retired. What do you do these days?
I work 75% of the time for Rick Kessler and Company at RV Business, and do a bunch of other crap that you probably don't care to hear about.
Yeah. Is Kessler a good boss, or should we get a lawyer here for unfair work practices and that type of thing?
No comment.
No comment. Okay. So no comment is the comment. Thanks so much, Sherm.
Yep.
Sure.
He's priceless. Okay, Mr. Moore has responded.
Ted Williams
baseball camp was in Lakeville, and he rented in Brad's neighborhood when Brad was a kid. He is my all-time favorite hero of my youth. Ted, greatest ball player ever to walk on a baseball diamond. but it was in fact in Lakeville. What is the property now? Is it still a camp by somebody, Brad, or did they put
Probably a
condos or condos or a campground in there? I don't know. So Bernie says Cape League. You weren't even close. The Cape League is not even close. Cape League is fantastic baseball.
He's on the Cape. Lakeville's
If you like baseball, I mean, kids come from, and Bernie will tell you, kids come from all over the country. They send the best prospects for the major leagues to the Cape Cod Summer League every year. You ever go to any of those games, John, or take the kids to them?
Many of them, and they are unbelievable. I mean, some of these kids, well, they're still in college, but when you look at the major league roster, I would say maybe 30% of them are Cape League, and then they're from like Arizona State and Texas Tech and University of Texas and LSU. They're not just from
right.
St. Mike's and St. A's and Merrimack.
And the great thing is it's a community event. Many of the people open their doors and give them housing. They stay with families around the Cape and different towns, and it's pure Americana, but it's pure baseball also.
Yeah, and the funny thing is, somebody was just saying last week when I was down the Cape, they said it's easy to find housing for the kids, but they said the hardest part of being a host family is keeping these kids fed, because they are big kids. And they eat, and they eat.
Especially as they play those big sports. Okay,
Right.
you said she was went to Cape Canaveral a couple weeks ago and saw a space launch.
Yep.
Interesting.
YouTube.
They're getting around. We're going to Pine Lake, which is the old Jellystone Park in Sturbridge, completely redone.
Yeah, they rid that over nicely.
This week with the grandsons. Should be interesting. Yeah.
To say the least.
But it's from a nor'easter standpoint, it just sounds like tomorrow's going to be terrible, and then enjoy the rest of the weekend.
I can't get over how quickly her grandkids have grown up. And the two little boys.
Wait, did they grow up quicker than your grandkids or my grandson?
I think so. I mean, they look like little. They look exactly like each other, right, Audrey? And they're funny. They look like their son. I think it's their son's son. But that's cool that they can. You know what? They can go camping with their grandparents.
So,
and I might have two of us.
If you're camping, you might see that tomorrow, but it'll get a little bit better maybe the rest of the weekend. And by the time you start to roll out to the campground and have a great camping weekend, it'll be like this. You'll have maybe a little bit of rain. The sunshine will come out, and you say, you know what?
Yeah,
we're going camping, and we're going to have one hell of a time.
Yeah, those mountains will grow over the weekend on Cape Cod. Go back to that. Look at those mountains. They're going to grow some mountains this weekend on Cape Cod.
They're probably looking at it and say, I've been to Cape Cod, but I don't remember seeing the mountains.
Yeah. And go back one more with the European license plate. Yeah, see that European plate?
That's right. That's an Italian coffee maker.
Yeah. Well, it
is in fact an Italian campground.
It's probably in Italy, so
it is. It is an Italian campground.
There you go. And yeah, with cappuccino or whatever it is. But I don't care what anybody says. Camping in bad weather is still better than staying home in good weather.
Absolutely. I would rather be right there under the tent or under the awning. Nice cup of coffee later in the afternoon. Nice Jack Daniels on the rocks. And just listening that rain come out. And hopefully you're in one of those zero gravity recliners, because nothing like sleeping in the rain outdoors. You're dry.
The only problem with those is you can't get the hell out of them. You try to get up, it takes 3 people to get you up.
I don't have that problem when I'm in worse condition than you.
Yeah. Oh, the Foley kids are 2 and 5, and they have a granddaughter coming in July. Look at that.
Add to the collection.
Irish Catholic. Yeah.
Just add to the collection. Don Haas says, I still get goosebumps if we rewatch how Ted was received at the All-Star game when it was Fenway. That was 1999. Don.
Did they bring him in a golf cart and move
No,
him
they
around?
brought him. Yeah, did bring him in a golf cart. Yes, and then he sat in a wheelchair. I believe he took him out and put him in a wheelchair. That was the one where Ken Griffey Jr. went up to him and just hugged him. Had everybody in tears. He loved the guy so much. That was an incredible ceremony. Yeah, absolutely incredible.
Yeah. Nice to have Brad with us tonight. We haven't seen Brad around in a while.
Yeah. Well, Brad's missing a body part. He had kind of like my wife. He had the hip surgery about I'm gonna say 3 or 4 weeks ago.
So what's he
He's
missing?
recovering well. Which he sits out on that deck and overlooks this incredible lake. He talked to Marty yesterday. We store our boats at the same place. I'm talking to him on this end of the country, Brad. I want to try to maybe have lunch with him. Is he back home already? I know it was debatable when he was going to head north, and I was, in between crazy appointments. So I was going to.
Does he take the boat up the intercoastal?
No, he keeps it up there, and he stores it for the winter, the same place that Brad stores his Arabesque. I don't know if he called that a yacht or a schooner. What's the correct name of your boat? Is it even safe to call it a boat?
Dinghy.
It's beautiful. This thing is like, I'm guessing 35 years old. Correct me if I'm wrong, Brad, but it's old and it's in pristine condition. And he heads out on it every year, even when he owned the dealership. Brad's retired now, but
Okay, I mean, I'm trying to figure this out. If Brad and Marty keep their boat at the same place,
yeah,
Marty's in Florida during the winter,
right.
right?
But he's got his boat in storage, as does Brad.
In Florida?
No, they store him in Massachusetts in the winter.
Okay.
Then Marty and Twinny fly down to West Palm Beach.
They don't bring the boat?
Then they golf, every day, and they go out on different charters. He's got a little marina that he goes to, and he can go out.
They don't bring his boat to Florida?
No. So he has in the past. In fact, I believe there's been years where he actually did.
Yeah. So it's not a far-fetched question.
No, in the past, I believe he has had years where he piloted the boat and brought it down to West Palm Beach.
But you're making it look like I'm a total jerk, because I would assume that somebody who's as experienced in boating as Marty would intercoastal waterway his boat from Maine, from Florida to Mexico.
You don't have an intercoastal till you get to Florida. You're in the Atlantic Ocean, so it's not.
Well,
you don't know what you're doing, but he knows what he's doing. I mean, he Star to Star is the name on that particular boat. Brad's is Arabesque. I mean, I have to bring that knowledge to the program, because you don't know the names of their boats. You don't know the details that you go through to put this program together.
Brad, help me out. Is there an intercoastal all the way down, or are you in the ocean? If you're coming from West Palm north, where do you hit the intercoastal?
Okay, he's got a sloop, 42 years coming up, and he bought it new. That's kind of like you with your RV. You're one of the few people I know who made an RV last for 14 years. Now, so you and Brad have something in common. You take care of.
Anna told me today she has a 1970 Airstream.
Anna does at Coastal Acres.
Yeah, and she only uses it to go. She only uses it to go from Massachusetts to Florida.
Well, look at Audrey. Audrey's taking the place of Walter Swenson tonight.
Okay,
she's got all the answers.
Now, listen. Last Saturday, there was a Viking ocean ship, the Viking Neptune, that went through the Cape Cod Canal. My granddaughters and daughter saw it. Did anybody else see that?
Was it the ship version, or was that flat river boat?
No. It was the ocean boat.
Yeah,
it was
the ocean boat. Right. Yeah.
They can get that under the bridges.
Yeah.
Intercoastal starts at Cape May, New Jersey. Okay, where's it end, Brad, if we're going south?
Starts at Cape May? Well, wait a minute. If it starts at Cape May, how does the Cape Cod Canal get in there?
Well,
I don't know.
Whatever.
I don't know.
They used to have
We're
all the cruise ships.
we're not boaters. So Brad, okay, so they store their boats in
Dighton,
Mass.
which is near Rehoboth,
Yeah.
down on that there. So
Talk about the weather, DePietro. Let's get some of these people talking here.
well, the weather is such that Thursday is going to be the bad day, and depending upon who you talk to. Now, keep in mind one thing. If we're talking going to Maine, we're talking totally different weather than if we're talking going to the Cape. If we're talking going to New Hampshire or Western Massachusetts, it's totally different weather. Because last week there was times when I was in Hyannis and it was bright sunshine, and I talked to somebody in Worcester. They said it was raining and cloudy. So anyway, has anybody changed their plans? We're asking that 3 times.
So Bernie, have you made any special provisions for a day full of rain up at Merrimack, or any of your dealerships in New England that might be impacted by this particular storm?
I think it's going to be just
curious to know if they're seeing that. And what Anna didn't say. I'm not sure anybody canceled their reservations at Coastal Acres. I think the fact that a campground owner or general manager would take the time to call every person with a reservation and give them the option of taking a credit and coming down later in the year, that's pretty damn good.
Well, Anna had a lot. We know a lot of campground managers.
Yes.
And some run it like a prison. And Anna ran it like it's her own business. And, like she said, the owner said, run it like you own it. And you can tell the enthusiasm in her voice. The passion when she doesn't even own it. Those are the types of people that you meet, and you almost automatically, I know I do, will ask them if they are the owner, because they are representing the business so well. Yeah.
And so passionate, you have to believe that they got a real vested interest in it. So that's a good relationship, obviously, that she has with the owners of that campground.
Right. And she's been there 10 years, and you see a lot of turnover in managers. That's not an easy job.
Oh, no.
You say May to November, but it's 24/7. Like, for example, she's been there since 5:00 this morning. Now, interestingly, I called her at 10 minutes of 5 and got voicemail. And then I said, you know what, let me just call her one more time. So when I called her, when you and I got off the phone at 6:15, I said, hey, are you a last minute person? She said, what do you mean? I said, you want to promote your campground tonight? Come on at 7:00. She said, I'll be there. She very easily could have said, it's been a long day.
Well, she said she was up at 5 a.m. sitting at the desk.
Right. Yeah, exactly. So, but those are the campground people. Those are the people that give campgrounds a good name, where we've run into others that, they're just miserable. Right. Hey guys, people are watching this show. Have you
wait a minute. Walter Swenson, in the disguise of being Audrey Foley Egan, says Cape Cod Canal, Long Island Sound, East River, off the coast of New Jersey. This is the intercoastal waterway now.
Right.
It cuts in all down the East Coast. See how stupid I am when it comes to boats? I had no clue. None whatsoever.
You could tell.
No, yeah, exactly. Not sure on the canal. I guess Long Island Sound, maybe. Yeah, that's interesting. Yeah, how you go down there.
Okay.
Have you ever been a boater? Have you ever had a boat?
No interest.
But your son-in-law has one, right?
Yeah.
Oh no, he's got an airplane.
No, that brother-in-law has a plane and a boat and an RV.
Brother-in-law.
A boat. My sister's husband.
Oh, your sister's husband. Okay.
Yeah. And then my son-in-law and daughter have a boat. But here's something very interesting. Tell me, you guys, if you've ever seen this. This thing called the Great Loop where boaters go up, start in New York City, they go up the Hudson and either up to Plattsburgh and then down the St. Lawrence or something like that. And then they go all the way, they go through the Great Lakes, down the Mississippi, all the way down to the Gulf of Mexico, and then either across Okeechobee, called the Great Loop. It's pretty cool. And I saw people last year in Ontario that were doing it, and we were in the RV, and I said, you know what? I'd love to do the ground portion of that. And there's all these little towns along the way that they stay at. It's really cool. So have any of you heard of the Great Loop? And it might be something that you want to do if you're looking for something to do in the Northeast. You can pick it up anywhere from New York City all the way out to Buffalo.
You could do the Great RV Loop and write a book on your journeys.
Exactly. And they're great loopers. Okay, Brad knows what they are. And sometimes it takes a year or two to do it, but they live in their boats. And we saw them on we saw them in Ontario last year. They have amazing canal system in Canada that they don't have in the U.S. That connects their lakes, which is pretty cool. So
while we got Brad on the program tonight, Brad was the owner of Bradford RV, which was shut down last year, and he retired. And his dad, Bob, founded the dealership in 1962, which is the year I got out of high school. Quiet, Toby. And
show him the dog. Show the audience the dog. You have the dog.
You want to come up again? And
hey, that's his first time up north, right?
This is his first. Yes, you're right. It is, and he's not crazy about it either. Let me tell you, his bathroom breaks. His bathroom breaks are pretty short. He just.
How have you sequestered May for this hour? There, is she down the hallway, or is she stuck?
No, she's right behind me, watching everything.
Good Lord.
She's at her desk in our hotel room doing some work and having to listen to us for an hour.
And that dog has a white face. I didn't realize it's got that white face like that.
Yeah. Well, our prior Maltipus were white and black. We didn't even know there was a tan one. She found him online with a broker, and they flew him down to Florida, and we picked him up there. And, for the most part, he's been pretty good. There's days when I'd like to ship him back to Minnesota, but, it's, right, Toby? You can do that?
Isn't a boat a hole in the water that you
Tom says isn't a boat a hole? Yeah, well, guess what? What's your RV, Mr. Hawes? There isn't a whole lot of difference between that.
Yeah. He's not a puppy, Audrey. He's fully grown, right? Yeah? He's fully grown.
How much bigger will he get, May?
I don't think much bigger.
So she says not much bigger. So yeah, he's probably about, I don't know, 8 or 10 pounds.
No, I would say at least 10.
At least 10 pounds. But that's
that was the dog that right after the last one you had died. You said we're done with dogs. No,
we're not having dogs anymore.
And then how long did it take before that dog showed up on your doorstep?
About 2 months. Huh? How long?
A month.
A month, she says.
Yeah.
She called me over the computer and she says, Bob, take a look at this dog. Don't you just love him? Look at how cute he is. Because I don't have any decision in that. She was going to buy him anyway. So I said,
it was either you or the dog.
Right.
The dog won.
Exactly. Right, Toby?
Yeah.
And he traveled. I'll tell you, one day we drove 13 hours getting back up here. He slept in his little cage, travel cage back in the back. And except for bathroom breaks, he did fantastic.
Say, I think retired people driving 13 hours is insane.
So do I, but I drove it. Yeah.
Right.
I was a little bit behind. So Brad says, had dinner with Dad tonight at the assisted living. Bob Moore, turned 100 years old on April 21st. And May and I were married 50, how many? Let's see. How many? 57 now? 57 years ago on April 21st. So I've got a tight bond with Mr. Moore, who is a fantastic guy, who was one of the early pioneers in the New England RVing community. And God bless him. 21, imagine 100 years, a whole set observing an entire century.
Brad, you got good genes.
He certainly does. Wait a minute though. Brad just turned 70. You mean we're going to be stuck with him for another 30 years?
Yeah. Look, Audrey said, never done with the pups. I now have a crazy. Wait a minute, Audrey. You got you got one golden or two? And a puppy also? Am I reading that right?
Never know that she says, I read it like she's only got one. She says she has a crazy pup.
No, but she's got a big dog. She's got a mature dog. Not a mature dog.
Maybe, Audrey, how many dogs you got? What breeds are they? How old are they?
One's a golden.
Huh?
One's a golden.
Golden retriever?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure.
Yeah.
Well, that's the other one. She definitely had one. I don't know whether she still has that same dog or whether she traded it in. Okay, lost the Goldens. Now have a rescue. He's 3 years old.
Got this bulletin from Brad. Ugh, boat break out. Break out another 1,000.
Break, BOAT. Get it? Break out another 1,000.
Oh, I get it. I didn't catch that.
Yeah, like heavy people say about Ford, fix or repair daily.
Well, it could be an RV.
Right. Well, that's true.
I'm not sure that we have a record that surpasses boats. I mean, they don't sink in the middle of the ocean too often,
Yeah. So Audrey, you have a 3-year-old rescue. What kind of dog? What breed is it?
Lost the Goldens, now have a rescue 3-year-old dog. I'll bet it's the same thing. I bet she went right back to the Golden.
Rescue Golden, though.
I bet she did.
I don't know. But
never done with the pups. I now have the crazy pup. Okay.
Oh, Jim Roy.
Jim
Roy.
The show ends at 8:00. I'm not sure it does any service for any of us if you show up at 7:59.
Great Pyrenee mix mutt. He must be a big dog then. Must be a 50-pound dog at least.
Right. Pyrenee's not a big dog, is it?
I think so. We'll see. Is he at least 50 pounds, Audrey? Yep. Great Pyrenee.
Jim, you missed early guest Anna Kuziak, who's the general manager of Coastal Acres Campground in Provincetown, Mass. And she has a fifth wheel, but she's also got a 1970 Airstream that she takes from the case, uses it as kind of a satellite office. She's the general manager of Coastal Acres, but in the winter, she goes down to Florida and she takes the unit down there. And they stay in a camp.
But we should never make fun of our viewers. We should be thankful that they made the effort to be here.
Well, Jim makes an effort. The guy. Right. Did you see have you seen any of his postings where he did all the wall boarding in the new garage that he built for his now 2 motorcycles? He bought a new motorcycle, a 2025 Harley, the other day.
That's the one he had to fire the builder.
Huh?
That's the one where he had to fire the builder.
Yeah, he fired the builder and did the job himself. But now he's painting it, and he's got the old coupe and I think a truck or something. He's got all his toys. He wanted it big enough to have all of his toys and his trucks and what have you. So Jim, we told her that we would introduce you to her if she needs any work on her.
Jim, we vowed we were going to stay on the air until you made it tonight. So now,
I guess we can kind of close the show now that Jim has it.
Have a great weekend, everybody. And
wait a minute, did I miss anybody? Mix of several and another great show, guys. Thanks, Don. Listen to you next week from New Hampshire, and we appreciate it. Maybe we see you when you come up here. Thank you, everyone, for joining us. Be safe during the nor'easter. Hopefully, it's just tomorrow, and then that's Thursday. So Friday, Saturday, Sunday, Monday, have a hell of a time in the campground or wherever you're traveling.
Have a great day, everybody. We appreciate your presence.
Always. Let me just do the. I should do the closeout video, just to make it legal. Boom.
This edition of RVing in New England was a presentation of the New England RV Dealers Association. Thanks for watching, and be sure to like us on Facebook, YouTube, and Instagram.